What up, what up? What up, people on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook? I'm just kind of playing with streaming with art. Done it with DJing, a couple other things. So let's see how it goes. It's really just a test. I'm gonna play around. I have some pencils from Nick Bradshaw that I'm just gonna ink. And I'm gonna probably blabber while I do it, see if it's entertaining at all, and test the audio and video quality, all that stuff. Cool, let's get into it. Let's see. So I'm inking in Clip Studio. Again, the pencils are by Nick Bradshaw. I just got to get a couple of test lines in before I get really going. Get my hand warmed up, etc. Cool picture of Harley. I dig it. Harley's such a fun character. Like, she's really just one of those bonkers characters that I can get down with. So usually what I do is I do a initial pass where I will put in all the lines and then play with the thickness of the lines after. Because the thickness of the line really changes the work. I have this cool little remote device, this little MIDI controller on my left. It lets me switch tools and stuff and toggle all the tools. Do not like that line. We've got a ninja kitty sleeping behind me. I'm hoping that I can figure out a way to use this when I teach our vault classes, because I think it would be real helpful. Man, my lines are shaky today. I wonder why. Trying to turn up. That's why I'm using the wrong one. I'm dumb. Oop. But beauty of digital is I can fix it with a button, with a keystroke. That's better. If you are checking this out while I'm live, feel free to ask any questions. Ideally, one's relevant to what I'm doing, but I'm not against random knowledge, I guess. Lines are way better now. It's weird, I don't draw very often with people watching. Not during, anyway. There was an old show when I was young in the 80s called Commander Mark, and it was a drawing show for kids. Super fun. And the guy, Commander Mark, did a great job teaching. And he'd always make these sound effects. Whatever. Especially when doing lines. And I learned that and never really stopped. Sometimes it helps. Badonk. Oh, don't like that line. Undo. What? It's funny sometimes. Oh, hello. Pencils by Nick Bradshaw. It's pretty cool. Let me straighten it out. They're super fun. I like him. Guy's so talented. Unfortunately, I am going to be held up to his inks, and his inks are ridiculous. I like that name, Franzilla. Trying to figure out too, like, am I inking this for black and white, or am I inking it for color? I think I'm inking it for color. A black and white Harley comic just feels like, I don't know. It's like breaking a rule or something. Phil is a friend of mine. Oh, that's why. What are you doing, Kit Kat? Ninja was sleeping behind me. Let's see. I think I'm going to keep that rounded corner that he's got. Pull my edges up a bit. Whenever I do these selections, I always expand it at least 1 pixel, because otherwise I end up not quite in the hole. I do love Clip Studio. One of the things I've always loved is the ability to draw in clear, which is like erase, but it uses whatever brush you were in. Photoshop just added that recently. It's a new feature. Now, I'm going to cheat a little. This is another thing I like about Clip, is the line tool that bends. Boom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to create another layer, please. There we go. And I'm gonna go to my hatches. Let's see, is it this guy? Yeah, I'm gonna use this guy. And I'm going to select in this circle, only if I have the layer selected, because I need to be smarter about that. And then use this hatch brush. Some nice little tones here. And then drop the opacity. And then get rid of the part that I don't want. Let's see, that's there's those sound effects I was talking about earlier. And then the shoulder. And delete. And then go here. Delete. Boom. Now this is done. And now I'm going to put some of these cracks in. Add some imperfections, you know? And I'm actually going to clean this up a bit. There we go. It looks alright. Boop. Let's switch to the G pen. Now, here's another trick. I'll go back to that cross-hatching brush. I'm going to put little holes in the hatches. Fade it out a little more. I just realized I probably should have tagged Harley Quinn in the description. We've got even more people checking it out, I guess. She's so popular. Boop-a-doop. There we go. I dig it. Now, go back to this, go back to my turnip. I don't know why they call it the turnip pen. Actually, I want to go back to the G. And then switch and follow this crack through. add some stress lines, right? I don't know why bombs always look like they're stressed. You ever never get a new bomb? Is that what it is? Why is that? Why is that? Pop, pop. It's a funny thing, I always avoid the face until the end. Let's give it 10. I don't know why, it's like that's my biggest worry. I need to get the face right. And so I save it to the end. Funny. Sometimes I feel like my lines are awesome, and sometimes they're struggling. Trying to maintain smoothness. Trying to maintain flow. Trying to make sure that I get the cleanest line possible, but without getting too surgical, right? You want to maintain the flow of the original artwork. Coming from traditional, it was always about trying to get all of the line weight in a single stroke. Trying to go thick to thin and not have to go back over your line. It was very difficult for me to try to forget that process, try to unlearn that sort of rule. And I still do it to some extent, but it used to be like, make sure to get it. One stroke. All your thickness right there. Boom. But I'll just go back and add thickness where I need it, It's like switching brushes or switching tools in between. Trying to keep it boring at the beginning and then add all the excitement at the end. But a part of that is something I learned. It's interesting. I learned it from an artist. What's his name? He's a junior. I've got his book, I think, kicking around here. Yeah, this guy. No, not that guy. One of these guys. I don't remember. But it's funny, I see the guy's art, and I'm not really a big fan of his art, but I recognize that he really does know his craft. And one of the things he says as an inker is, your outline of the shapes is real important. So what he does is the same thing that I'm doing, which is he puts in all the shapes and then he adds the line weight after. And that way the different shapes will stand out. At the end, you know, it'll have depth and thickness and whatnot. Because like the under of her jaw and any place that casts shadow should have a little bit of a thicker line than say the side of her cheek. And I want all of these strands of hair to have to feel like independent shapes. So I'm going to put the lines in as such. I'm hoping I don't get flagged for my music. I've got like stuff playing in the background, but it's not well-known stuff, so I'm kind of banking on that. I don't like working in quiet. So usually I have a show or some music on. What up, Jacob? I miss your face. Saverio? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thanks for tuning in. Get this jacket in. It's funny how we switch body positions to create lines like it helps. Like if you see it in a little camera, I'm like making a weird shape. It definitely helps to rotate your canvas so that your hand is moving in the right direction. You want to pull, not push. Pushing is not good. Not when using something that goes thick to thin, at least. Meaning a brush or a crow quill or a brush pen. It's cool. Nick Bradshaw gave her like this. It's almost like this, I don't know, 80s do. It's cool. I think this is a choker. I used to do this thing where I would start thick and go thin. I find now I like to go thin to thick. It's weird. I don't know why that changed. Like, there's definitely something to be said for going thick to thin on like when you're just banging out hair or whatever, you know, like if I switch this and I'm going that kind of thing. I want my lines to be thick at the beginning and thinner at the end. But if I'm doing these slow outlines, I tend to prefer going thin to thick. Especially if it meets up with another line. There's a little bit of planning that has to happen too, like with this section here. Am I gonna use lines or am I gonna use Zipatone? You know, use like a pattern instead of just lines I would do with my brush. Much as I'd like to be drawing comics for my bread and butter, I'm thankful I'm not right now because they're not doing so well as an industry because of the pandemic. But B, man, some characters have some really busy costumes that you have to draw the same every time. Like, can't you just put them in a one color unitard? I'm not paying attention here. So when you do these circles, the idea is use your whole arm to do the circle. Don't do like with your fingers. And I keep not doing that. And also, unfortunately, if you do it in a single stroke, what am I doing? You end up pushing, you know what I mean? So if you want to pull, I'm going to try it that way, see if it helps. First line was good, second line not so much. Why am I curving? Stop. It's one of the things that I actually find a little easier with analog. Getting that right. What are you doing here now? Here's one of my favorite cheats. Switch to the wand tool. Select the inside areas. Expand 1 pixel. Switch back to the brush. And now the cool part, you don't have to worry about going outside the line. So now you can just go whoop, 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 whoop. I think she's in the shorts. Yeah, she's in the shorts. That's why I got confused. I thought for a second she was in like jeans or something. I'm going to stop the line here so that there is a little bit of a crease. I'm also going to ignore these like ropes that are around her legs because I'm going to put those in after the fact so that I don't have to try to draw around them. I get the vibe that these are very form-fitting shorts. Alright, now our knee pads. going to only do the outline of the knee pads because I'm going to want to switch brushes. I don't love that. Do this a little bit more. Currently have no idea what this song is. It's kind of weird. Take You Home by Slender Bodies. Sure, I believe you. Whatevs. I'm gonna make sure this circle that I'm drawing connects with all of these points. I don't know, I think this star needs to cut back on the pastries. It's a bit of a fat star. One thing that's cool about working digitally is realizing where you can cheat and where you have to pay attention a bunch and where you don't. So like these lines in here, I don't love, but I'm just gonna fill them so it doesn't matter. Expand, fill, boom. A little bit of cleanup right there. Whoop. Ta-da! Stop at the skate so that the line has a break. Oh, I should open up the YouTube window, I suppose, huh? We'll do that real quick. Doop, doop. Where am I doing? What am I doing? My channel. Let's see if anybody's talking. Cool. All right, there we go. Let's bring this window. I've got like 3 chat windows open. It's crazy. So I've got Facebook open, I've got Streamlabs open, and then I've got YouTube open. There. That's better. And I just started speaking on one of them and it kind of freaked me out. I was like, that sounds like me. Why am I doing talking on a thing? hoping that I'll be able to use this window setup for our Zoom classes, which start up on the 5th. I think that way people will be able to see well and see what I'm doing, as well as like on the screen, as well as on the little guy. Add a little bit of a that wheel died. Hold on. I think I need to. There. Doop, 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 doop. Any Harley Quinn fans, go ahead and tell me things you like about Harley Quinn. Just a little bit there. This line here. Definitely one of the benefits of working digital. Now, I used to say that working analog, like, it's not really that I'm a fantastic artist as much as I'm really good at covering up my mistakes. And now I don't have to worry about it as much. What's really funny is sometimes I'll switch to the eraser tool and erase something and then wipe the crumbs that don't exist off the screen. Or if I'm drawing analog, like I'll reach out to hit undo, and undo is not a thing. We are creatures of habit. Now, here's where we're going to tackle these ropes. Here's another trick. I switched the marker. Nice big thick line. Make it thicker. There we go. And then I go wonk. And what happens is it puts a little edge, so it looks like it wraps around her legs. I'm gonna trace this thing. So now it looks like this goes here. And then one goes up. Another one comes around here. Another one there. Wait. This one gets tucked underneath this one. And then there's one behind them. Behind her legs. This one I'm not going to cheat. But I am going to rotate my canvas. Music's pretty chill. And in fact, the playlist is called Chill. Literally called that. Go back up. Nope. I would use the line tool, but I think that the leash needs to have some imperfections. And here's the super cool trick. Now I go to the line tool and have it on clear, and then I can control it a bit. I'm actually gonna actually, for this, I'm going to pull the opacity down a bit and figure out which one's in front. I think this one is in front. Oh, that's nice. Those are horns. I dig it. Not bad. I think I can do better though. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and make those look like they wrap underneath each other. It's cool.
Just flirting. So I hear your voice with songs that soothe that I wrote about you.
Ooh, that's nice. Sure, that looks like this rope has a bit of a tumor. Leash, rope, whatever. Cool. Now, this one, I think there's one here and then one there. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go. And then do the one over. And then switch the marker. I think it's this one's on top.
say you like you out. Stay till you can, you know. We fight, we fail, we call it away. Won't be calling us friends. I won't overextend. 'Cause I know about you.
I do like this song. Let's see what it is. Bronze Whale. Let's go walk. Gotta be cleaned up a little bit. What? Hi, Kit Kat. I don't know if you can hear the cat in the background. She always says hi when she wakes up. She wakes up often. Extend this a bit. Slow down, slow down, slow down. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What did I just say? Let's slow down. Let's do this. Let's clean this up. I'm actually going to put that whole line in, I think. That'll be easier. I should make a brush that just does like outlined stroke. Have it right there in my repertoire. But I did not and have not. There we go. How are we looking? All right. Harley's looking all right. I'm just going to fill that. And then this is an interesting leash. I wonder if Nick Bradshaw pulled out his leash and used it as reference, or if he just kind of winged it. 'Cause I know he's got a pupper. Oy. Let's do some of these lines. You. You. How's that gonna work? You. I love the ability to not go outside the line. It just saves time. Just put the lines in, you know? Alright, now. So I do it again. And then I can just follow this line straight through. I mean, I'll still mess it up, evidently, but now there's less worry. Then I get over here. Not bad. Get to the doggos. Heinous. Let's see. I'm gonna leave that top bit because I want to do that with a different brush so that it stays furry. Since they're covered in fur, I'm going to use more strokes. I'm not going to try to get it in one smooth stroke because I actually don't want it in one smooth stroke. One thing I will probably do is push the depth of that leg Farley's leg in front of the hyenas. Jackal? Hyena? Hyena. I don't know what hyena's claws are like. Like, are they really sharp or no? I don't even know if they are. Makes me think of the hyenas in Lion King. Eddie's my favorite. Probably everyone's favorite though. This big slobbery nose. Here comes another cheat. You ready? It's a good time, Phil. Boom, boom, Phil. But before I deselect everything, I'm going to erase that little line there. Boom. What is this song? Hi. Hope everyone's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Diwali or whatever. Whatever anybody celebrated was fantastic. Let's do teeth. We have a blended family, so Christmas for us is like 5 days long. Lots of love. My wife and I were talking about how it's basically another part-time job. Okay, let's get this paw. This. Go here. Erase. And that one. And that one. And that one. Now, switch to the G pen. Let's go 10, 12. Probably work. Always thicker. 15? I don't know, this song's growing on me, I won't lie. Bass line's pretty cool. Cool. Let's clean that up. Get rid of her leg in there. I gotta be a little careful because I don't get caught up in making sure all those lines are quote unquote perfect, and then I'll be here all night and it'll come out sterile. That makes sense. Like it'll just be too clean and it'll lose all the energy. Yikes, what is that line doing? Wand tool. I wrote that song for you guys, you're welcome. I thought you might need a little wand tool song in your lives. I've been wrong before, but other hyena. Oh, there's a caller there. Let's see. I have a really cool depth trick that I'm excited to do. I don't like those lines. I'll drop it down to 7. That's better. Back up to 10. I don't know if I'd want a pet hyena, that's for sure. I bet they smell real bad. I don't know, it might just be like a dog. I don't know. Our dogs have terrible breath, so I assume that's kind of par for the course for dogs that, lick, for animals that lick their own butt. I'm just guessing though. These guys are pretty cute though. Interesting thing, her having pets. Partially because, she's terribly insane. So you wonder about the safety of these pets. Partially because they complement her gimmick, She's kind of a clown or whatever. So animals that laugh would make sense. And then partially because she really doesn't care, she's a sociopath. So they're gonna get the run of things. The way Nick draws this one, it's almost bat-like. Which is an interesting thing to say about a Batman villain having a pet that looks kind of bat-like, but it's not a bat. This song is interesting. Feel free to ask questions or whatever. Say hi. Let's see. 1, 2. What's that song for you again? Little sparkle in the eye of the hyena. Aww. Now for that other fur, I'm going to switch back to that G pen. This guy's really great. There we go. Workflow on this is interesting. I always do my pencils and inks in Clip Studio. Then I do my colors in Photoshop. And then I do my letters in Illustrator. And then I do my page layouts and build the thing in InDesign. A lot of these programs will do a good amount of the work. Like, I can do most of this stuff in Photoshop especially, but I just really like the brushes and a couple of the tools in Clip better. The line tool's way better, and the brushes they actually feel like ink. See where we're at. Not bad. Not too shabby. I'm gonna pull this layer down. I promise. And I'm gonna do this thing where take a gray. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a gray tone for where I will put the yellow when I go to ink it. I'm going to go to color. Cool part is I don't have to be perfect. Now, here's our favorite tool, Bond tool. And expand. And I want to do that again. And fill. Oh, wrong one. I said fill. Thank you. Multiply. There. And then we'll go to here. And then we'll go to there. I DJ too much, I think. I was adding scratches to songs that aren't there. I don't know what's on her shirt. A flower, maybe? Let's say it's a flower. There's another thing too, like when you're doing inks, you gotta kind of choose any lines you're gonna correct. Like, where do you draw those lines, you know? Haha, where do you draw those lines? I meant like, where do you go beyond your job, I guess. I've worked with some artists that, I don't want to say they were not as good as me, but, you know, there were aspects that they didn't quite know, I think, as well as I did, and I was, you know, you want to help them out. I know that if I had someone inking my work and they saw some glaring mistake that I made, I would want them to fix it. Because it's about the end product, you know? Alright, now I feel like this should come out here. Here's a perfect example. I feel like that goes like this. And I use the wand tool with the fill tool because if I just use the fill tool, like I'll show you what happens. Sometimes it will go all wonky. If I zoom in here, see the little halo bit? And I can tap it again, but then it gets really pixelated. So instead, what I do is wand it after I fix my line because I'm not a dummy. Wand it, expand, fill, and now I don't get that line. Same thing here. I try not to zoom in this far, if only because I will see these little mistakes and hate them. Like those lines, they just look, you can see all these issues, right? But then when you zoom out, you don't really see them. You know, technically I think that's, let's see, it's pretty close to actual size. Now, let's do let's finish her up. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here so that I can get these lines right. With hair, I don't like to make complete lines all the time. I think it keeps it looking organic. It's just a flavor thing. Especially when you have an artist that has such a clean line style. I don't like that. I'll go this way. It's funny how a bad inker can really ruin an artist's work, even if they're just super talented. The penciler. I want that to be a little bit more of a point. What is that? I don't like that at all. Clean that a little bit. Check out my baby girl. Good. What's she doing? Sleeping. Really interesting being a new parent. Hey. Hey now. Puts a lot of things in perspective. Oh, what are you doing there? Straight line. Hair can be really hard to draw. It just does so many different things. Let's see. I kind of want to make fun of this song, but kind of don't. Like, I feel like I like it more than I should. It's pretty cheesy. One thing you got to be careful of is tangents. Like, if lines connect and they will imply things that aren't real in your art. So like, I just did this thing. I don't want this line to connect to this, because otherwise, like, if I did a line like that, looks fine, but it looks like this section is connected right here. You don't want that to happen. Turn up pen. Starting to get hungry. All right, face. I'm gonna go smaller because I don't trust myself. It sounds like a different song. Can't think of what it is. That part. Sounds like something I've heard before. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of different beliefs on how you draw women's eyes regarding lashes and such. Really kind of depends on what you want to do. The Marvel way said to always draw them as a single shape and never to like draw each individual lash. Don't try to, like, you know, if you have an eye like this, whatever, that's terrible, but don't go right? Instead, I'll fix that while I'm here. Instead, just draw like one shape. What I do like to do is I like to put slices in it. You know. Wrong one. All right, now lips. And Harley's known for wearing lipstick, so I don't like that. I think I'm gonna thicken up that bottom. So since she's known for wearing lipstick, I'm gonna add a little shine. Boop. Boop. Teeth are another one. Like, don't draw individual teeth. It looks weird. Especially if you got a pretty character. You just gotta hint to them, right? The whole thing is a game. It's a whole interpretation thing. One of my favorite ones is this. Sorry. Wrong pen. This. I say, what's that? Most people will be like, that's water. This is not water. It doesn't look like water. It's 3 lines that, kind of wavy. It's not water. But there's an interpretation thing, for a bazillion years it's represented water in some way. If it was like a cave painting, we kind of get it. There's a level of interpretation. You take those liberties in comic book art with water, with hair. Cloth. All kinds of stuff. Get rid of that one. This one, the G pen, has a really major thick to thin. That's why I like it. That's why I use it after the turnip. Because the turnip is pretty consistent. With the G pen, I can get really thin to really thick. One thing that's nice is on some pieces, if you're working like normally, comics are done 11 by 17. They're done pretty large, and being able to rotate my canvas on a digital is a lot easier than trying to find space on the desk. I don't love that. Undo. It's one of my favorite buttons. I want to go a little past the line so it looks like there's another edge, you know? I was sad about the Birds of Prey movie. It had a lot of potential. Interesting. This boot looks different than the other one. I'm just going to copy this other boot that I've already got. Oh, that's nice. Let's go center. Center. Right now, there's not a lot of depth, right? Other than in the bomb. But I'm going to change that in the next, not the next pass. Next pass is going to be adding fur to these guys. Fur to these guys. These guys are going to have the fur. That is the Bubba Dog voice, which is common in this household because we have cute doggos. And after I get this furry texture in, I will do a pass that will push the depth. Try to keep the fur curving with the, the aminal. Hi, Michelle. I miss your face. We're drawing some hyenas. Do you like hyenas? Listen to some chill music. Drawing the bubbas. I'm gonna get a little cross on this one, a little cross hatchy. Do. I'm gonna try to curve this over the leg, right? So it comes down and then it comes back up and over. And then I'll cross that again. And back over. Yay. Cross. See, like by itself, you know, these lines don't necessarily look like fur, they just look like lines. But you put them into context, and then they start to imply things because of their line weight, because of the shape. Etc. etc. Here's another cheat. I don't like any of those points. Just kidding, now I do. Just kidding. Hey buddy, I hope you find your dad. Let's see. I think I want to do the spots. The interesting thing about hyenas having spots and stripes. I think I'm going to cheat a little. I think this leg and this leg are in silhouette. Or I should say in shadow. And then whoop. I think it looks like he's doing their legs are black anyway. Like the bottoms of the legs. It looks like they're all dark. Makes my life easier. A little secret, I'm going to put a little bit of texture in there. I don't know who this is. It's kind of cool though. Now I'm going to go smaller. Do these little contour lines. It'll good shading. Photoshop, I actually have a bunch of fur brushes. Like, they just render fur. That's all they do. I'm gonna do dark on this collar. There. Let's see. Just gonna add a little texture on their nose. And then I think that, nah, let's not do the whiskers. It's interesting. So, I mean, dogs totally have whiskers. But the minute I add whiskers, it starts to look more like a cat than a dog. I mean, granted, hyena's not really a dog, but still. It's just an interesting thing that we imply. If I was going hyper realistic, I'd have to include the whiskers, right? Right. But I'm not going hyper realistic. Always important to zoom back out, take a look at what you're doing, make sure it looks right, and get rid of the pencils. You can already see how this hyena on the right is starting to have depth, right? Let's, I'm gonna kind of do the spots. They're not really spots, really, like they're rings, right? I'm gonna feather the ring. Ooh, I got an idea. I'm gonna do this. You're like, Bruce, what are you doing? That's ridiculous. Now they're just spots. They're supposed to be rings. Wait for it. Oh yeah, now rings. Boom. Here's another good one. Ready? Big thick line. Oh, wrong one. Big thick line. And then cut holes in it. Too many holes. Yay. What is this? This is kind of terrible. And then make the rings. I'm tempted to go upstairs and get some Funyuns right now. Gotta be careful with cross hatching, having your lines cross like this, because you don't want to lose the shape. Right? Just remember that tangent we were talking about? Happens right here. Look, this goes zoop and looks like it cuts off. This ends up not looking like it's in front. what it is. Cool. Now, next little bubba. Yeah, this song is terrible. I'm gonna hit next. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Not a fan. What's this? I do not know. Way better though. The other thing you have to be careful is the thickness of your line can quickly make something go from realistic to cartoony. That's something I struggle with because I like both styles for one. So it means both line styles are aesthetically pleasing to me. And because I just like real thick lines. I just enjoy lines. My old art teacher used to say, you know, see a really nice thick to thin line, he'd be like, that line's sexy. You know? It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. What are you talking about? Vance, you need to get out more. I think now this one's missing a tooth. Nah, I don't like it with that brush. I'm gonna use the other brush. Rotate. I think he wants this colored in, blacked in, I should say. Put a marker up. The downside is I have smoothness all cranked on my pen tool because I have a lot of jitter in my hand. It's kind of a thing, like when I go to digital for whatever reason, my hand's like, and so on the pen tool I have it cranked up to get rid of it, and on the brush I do not. I mean, on the marker I don't. And one of the reasons is with the marker I tend to do more fill-in work and big bulky lines. It doesn't matter. But what's interesting is with the pen tool, when I try to do a jagged line like this, you see how it lags a bit? If I do that fast, it turns into a squiggly line as opposed to that with the marker. The marker tool. Now I'm going to cheat little. Boop, boop. Expand. Fill. And then I'm going to use the marker and go circle. And then I do this. Whoop. Yay. Now I go like this. Jump to this leg, feeling I have to do the fill tool, I might as well do it in one swoop. Bump, 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 bump. Expand and fill. And then back in, give it a little more fur-like feel. Separate the toe. Toe? Is it a toe? It's a toe, right? I'm going to separate this. This is weirding me a little bit. Trust my artist, right? Oh yeah. Down to 3 balls. Watched that movie Soul tonight. Just thought of that because of the lyric. It's pretty good. You know, well done. It's really imaginative. Really imaginative. So I got British. It's a pretty cute little guy, not gonna lie. Pretty cute little guy. Another fun thing to do with fur, you do a pass and then go back and do it again, but start from the halfway point of the ones you just laid down. So I'll lay these down. I'm going to do the same exact thing, but I'm going to start down here. And you'll get that little implied line there. don't think I'm going to finish this tonight because it's 3 a.m. I started later than I wanted to. Start. Like it's almost done. The depth pass is next. Finding it out so I can't talk tonight. Plunge tool. You. Right? I wish I could remember that artist's name I was talking about earlier. I just remember he's a junior, that's all I remember. Let's do this jacket will be its own shape and depth. Right, you notice I didn't do this line here. The belt will be its own shape. And I'm not gonna do the top of the belt on the left side because I want it to be one shape. I'm not gonna separate the buckle with this contour line. I will do the top over here. I don't like that though. vest will be thing. And this coat will be a thing. The other arm will be a thing. And I'm not trying to separate the fingers. I'm not trying to separate the hand from the jacket, because I don't need to. Now definitely her jawline. And now her hair. Her hair gets tricky. Now for the hair, I'm going to go down to a smaller size, because I want to maintain that thick to thin. This is an interesting song. Now I'm going to start from this one. I'm going to do this whole line right there. I'm going to do this one. And then follow this through to here. Boom. Oops. There. I'm going to treat this one a little weird. I'm going to do this. And then this. There. Now, separate this shirt a bit. You can see how that already adds a bunch. Back to my G-pen. Now I gotta look at line weight in relation to shadow. You're gonna have a shadow following this nose and on the under. So it needs to be thick to thin there. I need to do the same thing underneath the choker and underneath her jaw. So you notice I went thicker underneath the jaw and then not as much there. I think it's a little too thick, but I'm going to clean it up on this side. Cool. Now I'm going to hit this other hair chunk. I really wish I could think of that artist's name. He draws the Ninja Turtles right now. And he drew that Ninja Turtles Batman thing. I want to clean this up. There we go. How are we looking? So when you shrink it down, you can see it really adds depth. Now I'm going to hit the underside and add some shading based line weight. So underneath this elbow, except not with clear, but with black, because I'm not stupid. And then under here. And then here. And I want to go from thin to thick. Sweet. I think I'm gonna do this. And then, boop, boop. No, I don't like that. Let's do this. And that. And we'll go boop, boop. There we go. Doop-a-doop. Yay. Now, I need to add a little bit of depth in this. And a little bit here. Cool. Now, legs. I'm going to include the ropes. I'm going to do a better job of it. Boop, boop, boop. Yay. There's those Commander Mark noises. Maybe the wheel should be the thickest because it's on the bottom. Oh, what are you doing there? Mine's trying to get away from me. Check in on the baby. What are you doing? Okay. Sleeping. Huh. Interesting. Looks like Facebook cut my feed off. Alright. What else? 2 drops in the bucket? Fuck it. We'll fix this line here. It really should be straighter. And up. And up and up. Let's see. I'm going to fill these little guys. And I'm going to do a little actually, I'm going to wait on the halo. One of the things I do for depth is, we call it a halo. Essentially, you just draw with a line, a white line, or in this case, clear line, and put distance between one object and another object. What are you doing? Well, and I'll do that between her and the dogs, the hyenas. Like this song. This is nice. I'm actively separating the wheels from the skates. There we go. Whee! I think the skates need a little guy in here. Now, also, I think I'm going to put some contour lines on here, on the wheels. Maybe this kind of does it. This little guy. Same thing on these guys. Then I'm going to do this. A little texture. Cool beans. Leg. Oh, where are you going, Len? Get back here.
But
That's cool. Reminds me of a Timberland beat. Not bad, not bad. I gotta do another pass on the legs. Let's go with 15. Actually, I'm gonna do 17.
but
Told you, I like those thick lines. Oh, I like them a lot. On the pen, I have one of the buttons. The Wacom pens have 2 buttons. I have one of them set to grab, and that makes life way easier. Now I'm gonna do something with these ropeses. Cool. That's it. I'm gonna push those arms a bit. Just this one at least. That's good. Trying to have a really thin line on the, or a thin point at the end of the hair. And I remember in art school, we would have a contest. Everybody used the same brush. It was this big, thick, old Japanese calligraphy brush. And we would all see who could get the thinnest line. That was a good time. I totes won a bunch. I don't like that. It's too thick. Very Billie Eilish style right there. I dug it. I want to do under the belt to give it a little sort of push. Now, I'll do the hyenas, but currently my brush is set at 17. I'm going to drop it down to 12. I'm not going to let myself get too thick with it because I want Harley to be pushed forward. Even when the hyena on the right technically is in front of her, I still want her to be the focus. It's one of those times where you have to break the rules to tell the story. Push this leg here. This. Oops. What am I doing there? That was ridiculous. One of the joys of having a tiny baby in the house is that I get to use all kinds of ridiculous voices all the time. And people don't even bat an eye. Makes me miss role-playing with like Dungeons and Dragons. I know you're all like, what? You play Dungeons and Dragons? We never picked you for a nerd. Yeah. That was a joke. Because I'm totally a nerd. One thing you can do with Clip Studio, and sometimes I do it, especially if I'm kind of in a hurry, you can ink on what's called a vector layer, which means, the difference between vector and raster is essentially vector is a bunch of numbers and raster is the actual image. So a vector layer will translate the lines you make into a bunch of numbers. It makes them scalable. It means I can draw something at any size and then I can increase it or decrease it as big and small as I want without it getting pixelated. And the cool part is also, since it's a bunch of essentially numbers, a bunch of ones and zeros, not only is it scalable, but you can manipulate it completely digitally. So what happens is with a vector layer, with inking on a vector layer, I should say, I can actually increase line weight with a tool instead of trying to use my hand and figure out the right amount of pressure and whatnot. It's pretty cool. You just give it a pass. You just whoop, whoop, and go over it, and it changes the thickness. It's pretty cool. Also depends on what I'm doing. Like with organic stuff, I want it to be, as organic as possible. So I try to avoid some of those digital tricks. Hi, Bubba. Okay, now we're into the other one. So the other one. This reminds me of a song too. What's that song? Ants something. What are you doing? Rotate. I want to push his snout forward, and I want to push his teeth a bit. I kind of want to push them as a whole. Jaw. Then push. Oh, whoa, where are you going, line? There. This should be nice and dark. In fact, I'm going to do. Cool. That's a cool song. Go real thick to the end so get some shading in there without shading. Okay, now here's the tricky part. Clean that fur up a little bit. Hey, what are you doing? This is a cool song. There. Now, here's my final magic trick. Ready? Marker. Set it at, oh wait, actually, let's do a 15. I gotta do this guy. Like that line.
Until I can catch my breath and step away, think about what to say to you. Come on,
Hey, where you going?
I belong to no
Totally starting to get tired.
one. I belong to no one.
Now,
I'm not known to
here's my magic trick. I'm gonna drop this. Yeah, I think 15 is good. I'm gonna go to clear, and I'm gonna do the halo trick. I'm gonna trace this, trying to maintain Harley's line weight. I don't want Harley to lose any line weight on her outer contour line. Boom. Then we'll do this. And you've got to be really tricky with these. So you want to separate, but not too much. Do now the other leg. Rogue dot there. There we go. Nice. Now I'm going to put one around his ear. His ear is ahead in front of her. And I'm going to do in here. Leashes. I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Sweet. Finished one. And maybe I'll color this. Oh, you know what I did? Just realized. This. I just realized that I didn't get that guy. Now I'm good. I think I am actually going to do this guy. This. You had those lines in here, right? Remember these lines? I'm going to use those lines. But I'm going to go this way. Let's see. No, I'm just going to go straight through. There we go. solid. There. Now, one of the most important parts. Save yo-ish. Save. I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file because I'm going to save it in Colors to Do. Because then I can just color it and not have to worry about changing file formats or anything. Alright. Well, boom. Thanks for checking out, those of you that did. I appreciate you and I appreciate your support. I get to go back and look at this and see if it's crap. See how the quality for the sound is and see how the quality for the video is. Be sure to check out vault-arts.com for our upcoming classes. We've got dance classes, we've got creative writing, we've got French, we've got drawing, and we've got comic book illustration. You can sign up and stuff. It's gonna be dope. And as always, stay safe.